Alright, so one of the most favorite guns in my collection is the Ditch Witch. That's what I've called this. It's an M97 trench gun. Now, this is my favorite gun for a lot of different reasons. Number one, it's not common. I really like that about that, because there are very few people that have trench guns. It makes this special. Number two, I had to put this beast together. Now, this may or may not have killed Nazis or communists. You just don't know. It probably hasn't, because a lot of these parts are not supposed to be together. This thing was built off of complete parts. For example, this heat shield is a Stevens. This stock is not supposed to be on a trench gun. The receiver has too low of a serial number. The receiver serial number does not match this part right here, which has the correct serial number, but it's missing the cartouches. It's built off of all legitimate parts, like all Winchester, real trench gun parts, but it doesn't have a high value because it doesn't have the cartouches, it's not serial number matching. But back in World War II, they did a donation period. What they did is they took in shotguns that people brought from the public, and they converted them into trench guns. So this very well may have seen military service, but it doesn't matter. I really don't care. But it does bring up an important point. If you're going to buy an actual trench gun and spend more than a few $100s on it, it really needs to be verified by an auction house, because the actual facts on a trench gun are very wishy-washy. Even a collector's book will be like, well, we know for sure this was a trench gun, and we know for sure this was a trench gun, so it has this serial number range. So if you're in that serial number range, there's a good possibility you have a trench gun. And it'll be like, if it has this right here, it probably wasn't a trench gun, but because of the donations, we don't know for sure. So if it has this, which is this little ring that holds the barrel and mag tube together, it's probably not a trench gun, but it can be. And that's basically how the whole collector's book goes. It gives you a whole bunch of keys, like little things to look for, that help make a better guess that it might be a trench gun. But honestly, these things are faked constantly. So if you're going to spend that kind of money, you really need to have an auction house backing you up saying, yes, there's a very good chance that's a trench gun. And even then, they don't know for sure unless they literally get one out of a military's armory. But if they did, it's going to be beat to hell. And when they clean them down and break them, how they clean them and break them, it's pretty weird too, because they throw all the parts in a tub and they clean everything. So there's a possibility you may not have a serial number matching trench gun, and it's still a trench gun. My suggestion is just go for a fake right away. Now this is an ultra special fake because the actual parts are real, they just don't belong together. And this is very special to me because this thing was just destroyed when I got it. The stock was all split apart, so I had to glue all that back together. The pump was all split apart, I had to glue that back together. I had to do a whole bunch of work on it to make it functional. So therefore, this one is special to me. And now if you want to see all the work I did, I'll have a playlist link at the end of this where you can check it out as I go through. I had to put on the sling swivel, and I really think it's awesome that trench guns slam fire. Now it's not actually slam firing, that's just what they call it. But basically, if you hold down the trigger, you see the hammer's not following the bolt. But once the bolt goes fully into battery, the hammer drops. So you can just hold down the trigger and empty the tube. Yeah, it's completely not practical, but it's cool as hell, and I like it. So, if you're thinking about doing one of these, I strongly recommend it. If anything, just go get an 1897 and get some Chinesium forgery parts. Because if you hunt down the actual parts, like if you hunt down an actual heat shield, you're going to spend like $400. You're better off just getting forged parts, or there's companies that'll build them for you. That's always a great option, but they're pretty pricey. Anyway, I just wanted to show off my favorite gun in my collection. If I lost any one firearm that I would be most upset about, this would be the one. I really love this thing. I just wanted to let you know I felt a little bit like favoritism was played there. Kentucky Ballistics basically drove right past my house to go visit Whistling Diesel, and he didn't even stop by. Maybe it's not favoritism, maybe he's just worried about the lodging. So I wanted to go and alleviate those worries from you, because I have lodging. I have plenty of lodging. We got lodging. It's got a balcony. Why don't we go take a look inside? Look at the view of the balcony. This is the kind of shit they make postcards out of. I probably wouldn't sit in the chair. It's getting kind of old. It needs to be replaced. But you could definitely stand up here. Get some nice, fresh Wisconsin air. Inside, you'll find a nice 1.5 floor, beautiful lodging with there's a chair, another chair. It's even got its own heating system so you can control the temperature. And you're probably like, well, Whistling Diesel gave me a continental breakfast. I don't see a continental breakfast in there. Oh yeah? Well, I bought an entire pack of Marbreds and a 6-pack of beer. Continental breakfast, man. What's going on? You gotta stop with the favoritism. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you'd like to help support the channel, I got my Patreon right there. I also have affiliate links in the description down below. Just by clicking on those links and doing the Amazon shopping you're gonna do anyway, I get a little kickback for it because you came there off my channel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.